That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna film. I'm gonna talk about the car, and you, Miss Emmie, say hi.
Hi.
You're gonna be my camera person. All right?
Okay.
If security comes and yells at us, then we can stop filming. Okay?
Okay.
So with the coronavirus quarantine, nobody can really do anything. So we're decided to try and do these like videos about our cars. So I decided to start with our 1984 Audi 4000 Quattro. In the US, it was called the Audi 4000S. In Europe, it was called the Audi 80. And this is the older car with the smaller bumpers, big US bumpers, but small bumpers. I bought this car about 10 years ago. It was from Portland to Oregon, and then we trucked it across country after I drove it down to San Francisco first. So had a bit of an adventure in it, and we've just kind of had it ever since. So anyway, this is our car, and it's largely just stock. We caught it was a good survivor. It's got like 165,000 miles on it, so it's by no means a museum piece, but it's really, really clean. On the outside, the only changes I've done to this is it's got slightly bigger 15-inch Ronal wheels that we just put on with Pirelli Cinturato tires. So thinking about maybe lowering it a little bit, but we'll see. But I can show you some of the details. It's a quattro, so it's all-wheel drive. It's 5-cylinder, not turbo. So it's about 115 horsepower and about 125 pound-feet of torque. Anyway, if you come look inside, so it's, again, pretty well preserved. Nice thing about coming from the West Coast is no real rust anywhere to speak of. It does have some scratch or some chips on the dashboard, but it's got this kind of brown mouse fur fabric that they all got from the US at least. Europe had leather and some plaid materials and stuff, but this is all we had. This is the only interior you can get it in. This car was only available in like, let's see here, white, black, red, blue, or silver. So ours is Zermatt silver. And then one of the cool aspects of this is the only year they did quattro in a sedan. So they used the coupe center console with the power window switches there from the coupe, which is only 2 windows. So in order to, in the regular 4000, the switches would be up here where the differential lock is. So can you go in close and show that?
Let me see. Like that.
So if you want to lock the center diff, go down. See the little squares are? Yeah, there. So if you want to lock the center differential, you pull that knob out. And then you have the 2 switches down below for the windows. And in the rear, so that makes the rear wind up only. So it's power windows in the front, but not in the rear. That's the unique thing about this car. Should we walk around it? Oh, we have the vintage club sticker. If you come in close. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
And I'll go up front. So the car originally had seal beam quad headlights. Now we have quad squares still, but this car's been rewired for European H4s. So it's brighter, but it still looks factory. And then found this cool Pikes Peak license plate out of off of eBay. I think it was in Japan, but it was like a sample of a Pikes Peak license plate. And because Audi, Michelle Mouton won Pikes Peak in 1984, or at least her class, thought that was a cool thing to add to this 1984 Audi. What do you think, Emmie? I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
Anything else we want to tell them about the car? No?
The line things are on the top.
The line things?
Line things.
The vents?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's what they are?
These? Yeah, it's
I was
cooling
just
the
wondering
engine.
if they're-
Come on around back for a minute.
Fine.
Another cool
Silver.
detail about this car, I don't know if you can see it on the film, but the elements for the rear window defroster, they spell out quattro in the glass. So if you run the elements in the cold, it will warm up and melt it in the form of the word quattro. So that's kind of neat.
Then there's a key thing.
Yeah, the trunk lock isn't really working right now. So I could show them how clean the trunk is because I don't think it's ever really been used. But I don't know that I can get the trunk open. Last 3 times I've tried, it is not.
That mantra.
Oh, look at you. You have the magic touch. Wait. You have the magic touch. So, as you can see, like the bottom is really not damaged in any way. The spare tire doesn't look like it's ever been out of the car.
Oof.
I've thought about turbocharging this car, putting like a 10 valve or 20 valve turbo in it. But the problem with that is, in order to make it fit up underneath the hood, maybe we'll go look under the hood then too. But in order to make it fit underneath the hood, you've got to move the battery back here. And so if I had to do that, then I would have to weld in a battery tray over here. And this is in such pristine shape, I hate to do that. So one of the reasons it stays a non-turbocharged car. Okay. Magic touch. I don't know what you did, but it worked. All right, let's look under the hood quick, and then we'll get out of here. These cars were manual transmission only.
I can't lift it.
So it's a 5-cylinder, like I said, about 115 horsepower, 10 valve engine, mounted longitudinally. So you can see how far forward the engine comes. The engine comes so far forward that they have to offset the radiator to the side. So that's our 4000. What do you think? Is it a cool car or is it a little weird?
A little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you have rolly things in the back.
I have what in the back?
Rolly things to open the
Roll
windows,
up windows.
in the back.
Should we show them that?
Sure.
Oh, it's also got these. Remember these triangle windows for? But you don't because you're too young. But they would use people who smoke cigarettes could like ash out the window and smoke would go out the window and you could ventilate the car. But then later when they facelifted the car, this all went away. So it was only on this, or at least on the overdrive drive. Are you still filming?
Yes. So we have these rolly windows.
Roll up windows.
Windows. They're called windows.
And they also, you're gonna roll one, show how it works.
There. The cool thing is when it shows you that you're done, it like goes over here. But once you're done putting it back up, it is on the other side.
Roll up windows. Really novel today, huh?
But it's easier if you're rolling them down than rolling it up.
Oh yeah? I want to see something else that's funny about this car. So the old power locks work with a vacuum, right? So if you have a leak anywhere in the vacuum, they don't work. And we definitely have a leak in the vacuum. So even though this says power lock, we know that when we got in, it didn't work, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joys of owning an old car. So a couple differences of the US car versus the European car. So besides, again, they look the same as the stock wheels, but they're not. They're an inch bigger. The US cars had these bigger bumpers. And US side markers here, which go on as parking lights. So that there would be no hole there on the European car. And then around back, same thing. Boop. See the parking lights there on the bumper. Because Hershey Police Department, so fortunately they're not looking for us. And then US bumpers here. And then the other difference was the US cars had these raised plastic badges. The European cars, mine has a little wear obviously on this one, but the European cars had stickers, vinyl decals that said Audi 80 Quattro. Oh, that's also, while we're being super nerdy and pointing out the details, on the center console too, it would say Audi 80 Quattro instead of Audi 4000 Quattro. Anyway, that's our car. So shall we head home? Mm-hmm. You done? Mm-hmm. Pretty bored? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well thanks for giving me some time today. I appreciate it.
What's the next car gonna be?
Well, we're just gonna do this one today.
Oh, I want to do Heidi.
No, she's not home yet. Maybe
Heidi.
later. All right.
What about electric cars?
We'll do the electric car. You wanna help me with the electric car?
Yes.
All right, we'll do that maybe tomorrow or the next day. I gotta put the summer wheels on it, okay? Should we pan out and say goodbye?
Subscribe, or if that is even possible.
Subscribe to the Audi Club channel.
If you want to make your own channel, sure.
Okay. We have a channel, actually.
We do?
Yeah, well, you and I don't, but the club does. Well, I have one. We could put it on my channel, too.
Do you have a channel?
Mm-hmm.
That's the newest thing I know.
Your uncool dad has his own channel. All right. I'll do a quick walk around. I'm on the clock with Emmie, so we probably ought to get out of here. But here I'll do one other close up on the wheels. These are Ronal aftermarket wheels that we found in Michigan.
Polka dots on them?
They have polka dots on the tires. Still the markings on the tires. Where do you see polka dots?
Polka dot.
And the hit mark on the Pirelli.
And the blue line.
The nice thing about switching to 15-inch tires, or rather 15-inch wheels, we had a lot of tire choices, or more tire choices than we had in the 14s. We just recently replaced the 14-inch tires, and I had to go with kind of random ones that I found on Amazon. But when we switched to the 15s, we were able to do Pirelli Cinturados. So that was cool. It's also got these kind of painted stripes, which I don't really like, but
They're nice.
yeah, and they're painted on. They're not vinyl. I think they're on the hood too.
It's pretty. It makes it look like a race car.
It does. All right, so shall we sign off?
Mm-hmm.
You want to say anything?
Subscribe.
See if I can drive home and it doesn't fall down. I bet it does. What do you think? Should we talk about the car? What do you think of this car besides the fact that it's old?
I don't like the color of the interior.
So this car is from 1984.
So that's how...
Well, now it's 2020.
I don't want to make it. It's my weekend.
You know where it was built? West Germany. You know what the difference between West Germany and Germany?
Sound? How you say West Germany is.
No, just so after World War II, there were two Germanys. There was West Germany and there's East Germany. And then when the Berlin Wall fell, there was just
North America
Germany.
and South America.
Yeah, but it's like the wall. There was a wall, and they tore down the wall. So we're like North America and South America are not only different continents, but they're many, many different countries.
You know, I bet that thing's not.
You bet what?
It's not gonna.
You bet it's not gonna fall. Are we gonna bet money on this?
Yes, $5.
You bet $5 it won't fall.
No, I don't think $5, so $1.
So if it doesn't fall, I owe you $1.
Yes.
And if it does fall, you owe me $1. In the middle of a pandemic, I can be rich. All I have to do is make it fall.
Oh my God, Dad.
I don't understand. Does that mean it's fallen already or no? No, that ain't even trying.
I owe you $1.
Good, because I'm gonna need a lot of dollars to pay for that broken phone.
It's not broken.
Okay.
Maybe the case is a bit, but
Hey,
that's
look,
it.
that cool little truck. Hey, look, there's Heidi.
That's not Heidi.
That is Heidi.
God. Why are they trying?
That is totally Heidi.